Hi class, how are you today? For sure. Alright, the learning target for today is to use the distance and midpoint formulas on a coordinate plane. First, we're going to talk about the distance formula. So the distance formula is that d, distance, between 2 points is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So remember that in a coordinate plane, points are named x, y. Their x coordinate and then their y coordinate. But if you have multiple points, like another x, y, you would say the first set of points is x1, y1, and the second is x2, y2. So let's look at these points right here. So this first point is 1, negative 2. So we'll write that down. Our first point is at 1, negative 2. Our second point is over 3 up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the point 3, 5. And now we plug it into the distance formula. We want to know if we were to make a line from this point to this point, how long would that line be? So we're going to put it in the distance formula. So we have the square root of x2 minus x1. So 3 minus 1. So 3 minus 1 squared. And then plus y2 minus y1. 5 minus negative 2. Or 5 plus 2. Squared. So notice what we did right here. So we want to know the distance of this line right here. In order to do that, what we did was 3 minus 1. So 3 minus 1. We found out the distance of that line right there, which 3 minus 1 is 2. And then 5 plus 2, or 5 minus negative 2, well, from 5 to negative 2, attempting to draw a good line. So that line has a distance of 5 plus 2 is 7. So we're finding out the horizontal distance and the vertical distance, and then squaring each of those and then taking the square root. This might remind you of something else that you hopefully learned in middle school called the Pythagorean theorem. This is actually the Pythagorean theorem on a coordinate plane. So, like we said, 3 minus 1 is 2, and 2 squared is 4. So we have the square root of 4 plus, and then 7 squared is 49. So the square root of 4 plus 49, 4 plus 49 is 53. And then on a calculator, the square root of 53 is about 7.28. Most of the numbers you'll get from this are not nice numbers. They'll be decimals that go on forever. They're irrational numbers. but occasionally you will have perfect squares that come out evenly. Alright, so that's the distance formula. Now let's move on to the midpoint formula. Alright, so the midpoint formula, instead of just giving you a number, it's actually giving you a point. So the midpoint formula takes 2 points and then tells you what point is halfway in between those 2 points. So if you notice here, x1 plus x2 divided by 2, it's taking the average of your two x's. And then y1 plus y2 divided by 2, it's taking the average of your y's. The midpoint formula is much easier than the distance formula. Alright, so let's look at these 2 points. We have this point right here, which is the point 1, 3. And then this point right here, which is the point 3, negative 1. So now we plug them into the midpoint formula. x1 is 1 plus x2, which is 3. Just so you know, I'm talking about that 3, not that one. Divided by 2. And the y's, y1 is 3, and y2 is negative 1. So plus negative 1 or minus 1. So now we take the average of each of those. 1 plus 3 is 2. 2 divided by 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So our midpoint is the point 2, 1. And it's this point right here. So that point is directly between our 2 points. Halfway in between. Alright, so that's the lesson for today. Distance and midpoint formula, I think they're pretty simple. Once again, please remember to take notes on the entire video, and don't forget to take a picture right now of your notes and submit them to eBackpack. And as per request, don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good night.